Hey everybody, welcome back to Tomcat Air Guns. What I've got for you today is bipods. I've got so many bipods, I got them coming out my ears. You guys may have noticed all the bipod legs that have been hanging over my head in some of my recent videos. Well, the reason I've been doing that is I've had something on my mind for a while that I kind of want to go through and test all these bipods. As I've said to you guys before, I want to show you products to let you know that they're out there, give you my opinion on them, and help you formulate your own opinion to see if they're right for you, to help you become the shooter that you want to be. So, with that being said, there are many different bipod styles and price tags and brands and all kinds of stuff. In its simplest form, a bipod is putting legs on your rifle. But as competitive shooters know, a bipod can actually be a lot more than that. It can be an accuracy tool for your rifle. So, I went and I've been collecting bipods for, I guess, 2 years now. I've been just slowly collecting all these different brands and stuff like that. And I think I'm at a point now where I can actually start running this experiment. So what I'm going to do today is just introduce you to all the bipod companies that I'll be showing you. And then I'm going to go over a little bit about the experiment I'm going to do later. So each one of these bipods is going to get its own video, or at least each brand is going to get its own video. I'll go over the pros and cons, my own opinion on it, and go over the features and price and all that. So starting out, we're going to start with the Harris bipod. It's the Harris bipod. It's kind of the starting point for a lot of shooters. They go out and they get themselves a Harris bipod. It's like that first bipod you get that says, I want a quality piece of equipment. Here it is. Biggest downside to this one, I'm going to have to say real quick, is it needs a sling stud. Or, if you have a Picatinny rail, I had an adapter here somewhere. Oh, here it is. You can get yourself an adapter if you have a Picatinny rail that'll turn it into a sling stud. They also come in very different, different lengths. So this one I got for sitting on the ground and shooting. Just like that. New to the bipod market is Magpul. That's right, Magpul's got a bipod. Magpul came out with a polymer bipod that, and by polymer I mean, you know, plastic. It's pretty cool. I played with it a little bit and I like it. It's a nice little bipod. But being that it's polymer, that means it's very lightweight. So if weight is a concern, you know, check out the Magpul bipod. Also, because it's polymer, it can come in different colors. I think right now it's just tan and black, but at least you have that option. Continuing on the lightweight bipod side is Caldwell. They've got this guy here with carbon fiber legs. I think this is the 6 to 9 says on the box. 6 to 9 Accu-Max bipod. Nice little design right here, guys. I'm looking forward to putting this one through its paces and see how it does. Next up, I've got a bipod by Modular Evolution. This one here is, well, oops, the leg came off. That's one of the features of this bipod, is that the legs come off. And another one is that you can shoot the legs for the extension. But this one has some unique features to it, as well as carbon fiber legs, try to keep the weight down a little bit. Looking forward to this one too. Okay, next two bipod brands I'm going to hit are heavy hitters in the bipod industry. When you're talking about a top tier bipod, these two names are going to come to mind because they are the cat's meow. First up, we've got, well, Accu-Tac. Accu-Tac has been around for a while. They are very focused on stability. This is their newest FCG2. This is my own personal one. That's why it's painted the way it is. If you get one, it will come in black, like this one. But very stable. Really stable, really easy to use. I'm really impressed with this model. Next up from Accu-Tac is the BR4 series. This is the BR4 G2 and this is the BR4 Gen 1. You can tell, I mean, look at the legs, the difference in the legs alone. You can see that they put a lot of changes. I mean, this is a Gen 2, but it's a totally different bipod from this guy. This one does have a little weight advantage. It's a little bit lighter than this, but this one has everything else advantage. Another older model from Accu-Tac is this baby right here. This is the FC10QD. And when I say Accu-Tac has been focused on stability and stabilizing a rifle, it's because of models like this is why I know that's on their mind. Is look at the stance on this thing at 45 degrees. Look how wide that is. And then you bring it out to here, it's even wider. I mean, that is a huge bipod. And by the size of these legs, it's a strong bipod too. Really a heck of a bipod right here. But unfortunately, this has been discontinued. I'm still going to put it through its test though, I think. Continuing in the top tier section of bipods, Atlas. Atlas has been making bipods for quite a while. Mil spec, super strong, super stable. They are freaking awesome bipods. End of story. This is the base model of the V8. You can tell a V8 pretty easily because the legs spin. It's the only model, I think it's the only model that the legs spin on. Now, the V8 is an awesome starting point and it's an awesome bipod. But they had a V8 and they got some suggestions from the military guys, and I think what was happening was the military guys were on their rifle and they were loading that sucker. They were pushing and pushing and pushing like this, and this bipod would be mounted and end up pushing back a little bit. So Atlas listened to their customers and they came out with the PSR. Now at first glance, the PSR looks exactly the same. The legs do not spin, which I have experienced. Maybe it's the legs, maybe it's the other option, but I've experienced slightly more accuracy with the PSR. The other difference is this little bump right here. It's called a forward-aft limiting boss, and that is to combat this pressure from loading on your rifle. Some guys say that this was a Gen 1 and this was a Gen 2. Atlas doesn't really look at it that way on their website, but I could see why some people would think that way. This is a real nice bipod. This is one of my favorites right here. Continuing with Atlas is the CAL bipod. You can see right here, they've widened out the legs in the hub section there. Now, the wider your stance gets, the more stable your rifle is going to be during the shot. So, this is kind of like the next step up. I don't think they have any problem with their preloading or anything like that. It's just a really nice bipod. A little quick release lever back here for some tilt option. Other than that, it just works the same as all the rest. Topping off the line of Atlas bipods is the monstrous 5H. This thing, I mean, if you're looking for like bench rest shooting or f-calss shooting, this guy's going to get you there. This thing is a beast, and it is strong, and it is really, really nice. I like it. I like it a lot. But these top tier bipods, they come with a price tag, and it's a hefty one too. So be prepared. If you're looking for a top tier bipod, you're going to have to shell out the cash. Is it worth it? That's up to you to decide. Next up is a bipod that caught my eye at SHOT Show, and it's from gg&g Tactical. They're out of Arizona. And all metal construction. What caught my eye about this was infinitely adjustable legs. Not much adjustment here. This is one of their smaller ones. They have a whole line of different models. Taller and wider, I mean all kinds of stuff. But the way the legs lock in place was what caught my eye. It's like a tab A slot B type of design. So again, like many of these other ones, I'm looking forward to putting this guy through its pace. Got pan and tilt too. Oh, one more note I forgot to mention, guys, with these top tier ones especially. I think a lot of these actually have swappable feet, but Accu-Tac, you can go to spikes. How's that? You can go to spikes, or you can go to this rip your face off claw design. This thing is like a weapon. Look at that. And that thing's really cool looking for one, but then, oh my gosh. So if you're like in deep sand or something like that, I would think this would be pretty nice. And Atlas, the same thing. You can get leg extensions for your bipods. It looks about 3 inches. Or you can get these stainless steel spikes, which I don't think aren't going to be affected by much. So you can beat the ever-loving out of them, and they're just going to be ready for more. Let me preempt this by saying the next two bipods I'm going to go over are a little bit controversial, but there are reasons why I got them to show you guys, and I'll be going over that as well. First one, you may have guessed, is an Atlas clone. I don't agree with stealing people's ideas and you know, selling them off as your own, but this is the Atlas clone. It's going to work in many of the same ways as their base model, and I've seen these as low as about 1/10 of the price of an Atlas, and because of that reason I cannot ignore them. Now this is the second one I've had. I gave my first one away because it was just such a disappointment. This one is probably going to fall into that same category as being a big disappointment, but as I said in the beginning of my video, for some people a bipod is simply putting legs on your rifle. That's where you're at with your shooting, and that's okay. And if that's the case, you're probably going to be really interested in one of these, even though it's theft. You know, it's somebody stealing someone else's idea. I'm not going to go on a soapbox though, that's enough about that. Atlas clone. Garbage. The next clone I want to show you guys is a long-range accuracy bipod clone. Long-range accuracy used to make bipods that look just like this. They were in about $300 or $400 range, and they no longer make bipods. So the only way to get a true long-range accuracy bipod is to find one used. But the clone machine saw this model and said, hey, we can do that, so they are now being cloned. One unique feature about this bipod is that the legs have a 22-degree position. Okay, that's 45, and that's 22. You also have tilt, no pan, just tilt. But if you need to get a wide stance and really stay low to the ground for your shooting, this might be an option for you. Or if you want to try out a wide stance bipod for a lot less money than some of these top tier ones, dude, this was like 70 bucks. I can't ignore that price tag. I would love to, because again, I don't agree with clones. I've only played this one a little bit. It has let me down in certain areas, and understand that about clones. If you buy a clone, you're not going to get that quality. It may not be as smooth. Things aren't going to work quite right. Okay, I have two more bipods that I want to talk about real quick. The first one is in this box right here. I can't show it to you because I've been instructed not to. This has not been announced yet, so I can't tell you who it's from, and I can't show it to you, but it's right here, and I'm going to put that one through test too. I also have another bipod that is currently, as I make this video, it is currently in the pre-production manufacturing stage, I think. So it might be a couple of months off, might be a couple of weeks off. Hopefully it's a couple of weeks off. So I'm really excited about both of these. This one is going to be a very good model for certain shooters. The other one is, from what I hear, very unique. That's all I'm going to say. And the next up thing I want to show you guys as well is an accessory for your bipod. That's right, you can get bipods for your guns and you can get accessories for your bipods. This is by Accuracy Solutions, and what it is a Bipod Extender. Undo the quick release levers right here, and zip, you can move your bipod out that far. That's pretty darn good length. What that does, guys, if you don't know, is if you've ever been sitting there shooting and you're zoomed way in because your target is way out there, long range, and you can see your heart beating like this, okay, in your scope, this is going to diminish that movement considerably. The further out you put your bipod, the more diminished that movement is going to be. Okay, now last thing I want to cover with you guys is the experiment I'm going to do with these. As I said, I'm going to go through and give them all their own videos with pros and cons and using them, and you know, my perspective. And then I'm going to take them all and I'm going to put them through a small test. And what that test is going to utilize is the Mantis X shooting training system. What this does is it measures the movement of your rifle when the shot goes off. So I want to see, I'm going to put this on the rifle and I'm going to put the bipod in, and I'm going to take myself out of the equation as much as possible. And I'm going to see what kind of results I get from each one of these bipods when the shot goes off. Does the rifle bounce? Is it nice and smooth? Who knows? I don't know the results I'm going to get with this, but I know what I'm looking for. I'm going to explain that in that video when I do that one. Now I have a mess to clean up. This isn't even all of them. I got more in the house. I added it up one day. I got almost $5 grand in bipods. And they're still coming. It's incredible. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick introductory to all these different bipods. Maybe I showed you something you haven't seen before and you're already like, hey, that's the one for me. That's awesome. If that's the case, great. Maybe check out my review before you pull the trigger on it. A couple of quick reminders, guys. I'm on Airgun 101 now, so if you can go over there and check out all my older videos. I'm also going to start premiering my videos on Airgun 101 first. So if you want to be first in line seeing my videos, head on over to Airgun 101. Another quick reminder, there's many different ways you can support my channel. Donation, buy a clock, you can even buy Tomcat Airguns decals. So feel free, hit me up for a decal. As always, guys, happy shooting and thanks for watching.